Unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time. I just deleted, unfriended 3 conservative Facebook friends. One I've met, 2 others I haven't met, but they've normally been cool. But I have a rule that I delete people when they mock, when they use LOL and laughing emojis. And I don't care who it applies to. I've made some exceptions for conservative friends, unless you're actually laughing. You know, like, that's a funny joke. You told me a joke and now I'm laughing. But when you LOL as a response to something that wasn't intended to be funny, it's a point and laugh. It's ha ha, you know. So it's like, goodbye. I don't have room in my life for people who will use that. Anybody, if somebody laughs in my face when I'm having a conversation with them, they're gone. I'm never going to talk to them again, you know, because there's no reason for that. There's absolutely no reason to mock somebody, you know. And furthermore, there's another quality that people that use emoticons seem to share. It doesn't matter what side of an issue you're on. They're know-it-alls, you know. They know things that they don't know. They pretend to know things, you know. When we're talking about Charlie Kirk's murder, I made recordings about this again, so I won't go over it, but there are some people that won't accept any evidence at all. They refuse to agree on any evidence. They refuse to put forth their own theories. All they want to do is destroy and say, the official story sucks, and if you're an idiot if you believe it. You're an idiot if you believe the mainstream narrative. Doesn't matter what part of the mainstream narrative. If the FBI said it, if a law enforcement guy said it, if a witness said it that was there, it doesn't matter. If it came from the glowing screen and didn't come from one of their mocking sources, they laugh at it, they jeer, they say you're stupid if you believe it. You're stupid if you believe that we went to the moon. You're stupid if you believe 9/11 happened. You're stupid if you believe the world is a globe. You're stupid. Ha ha, you idiot. You're stupid if you believe that humans could build the pyramids. You're stupid, you fool. And yet the alternatives they offer is aliens, giants. You know, they're not bringing in aliens, skeletons, or giant skeletons, or any giants. They propose these other total crazy theories. The earth is flat. Nobody's been to the edge. They can't go to the edge because the military controls it. Okay, all right. I'll disregard all the evidence I see with my own eyes and replace it with your stupid fucking story. With your can't get past the Van Allen radiation belt. Oh, suddenly you believe there. You know, it's retarded. You know, I spent the first half of my life, or the first quarter of my life, with lots of guns. They're easy to disassemble. When you're 12 years old, you take a hunter safety course. It's part of Boy Scouts. You take apart your gun. You put it back together again. You clean it. You have contests to see who can do it the fastest. If you ever watched a military movie, you see military guys doing this with their guns. Clean your gun. Do it fast. 15 seconds. Stand up. Yes, sir. That's how they make guns. Easy to clean. Easy to service. That's part of the selling point. But here these people that have never fired a gun or don't own a gun seem to know everything about guns. because they watched a YouTube video of a guy who gets clicks because he doubts everything. And you're an idiot if you believe anything the FBI says. You're an idiot. You know, instead of just looking at one piece of evidence, plus one, using your own senses, your own sniffer, your own peepers, you know, your own ears, your own experience. It's like, no, I don't like the FBI, but I love this YouTube guy. This YouTube guy said, watch this video. In 2 minutes, he debunks everything the government has said. Okay. Except for he doesn't. Because I have eyeballs. And I've shot things. And I've killed things. With a gun. Much like the 30-06. I didn't get to use Boyd's 30-06 as much as I used my 30-30. You know, I'm not going to try to say I'm this big game hunter, but I've killed my fair share of deer, rabbits, raccoon. I killed a raccoon, birds, chipmunks. I didn't like killing things, but there is a skill to being good at something, and I was a half-decent marksman. Because it's not really that hard. You know, it's not that hard. You line up the sights. If you have a scope, it gets a lot easier. You take a shot. These people that designed these guns did a good job. So it's not surprising. A person could take their very first shot and hit the target if they simply follow directions. If they simply follow directions, you can hit the bullseye of a target on your first shot. In fact, it's probably more likely you'll hit the target on your first shot than later. When you start second guessing and you start thinking, oh, what am I doing wrong? You try to start holding your breath. You start doing all these other things. You get in your own head. You get overconfident. Then you start missing. But Lord, all these people that don't own guns are suddenly total pros. You know? That's the thing that's so annoying. That's why I just can't stand it. If somebody laughs, if uses the laughing emoji, it's like this giant red flag that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Instead, I'll just laugh and take up space and mock you and try to make you emotional, try to throw you off kilter, because that's not an argument. Certainly not confident. You know? So goodbye. I don't care. I don't care how much time I've spent with you, how much time you do that. Goodbye. Because you don't need to pretend to know things you don't know. It's tempting. When something first happens, you go, okay, I watched the video. To me, absolutely looks like somebody shot him from the front. He falls backwards. That's what happens. If you punch somebody in the face, the direction of your fist is the direction of their body. That's what happens, okay? If you punch somebody in the neck, they're going to go backwards, neck first, not head first, neck first. That's what Charlie Kirk did, right? Back and to his left, where the hole was, you know? His neck went back first, his head followed, and his body followed. And he fell off to the left, just as expected. And the crowd turned around, and they heard the sound. And they all heard it. They all turned to the spot where the guy was. You know? Don't believe that. Oh. And these people don't put forth their own ideas. Like, here's what happened. I know what happened. They don't do the experiments themselves. They don't figure it out. They're referencing another YouTube video or something. You know, it's just so, to me, it's so disrespectful to pretend. Go ahead and go, if somebody's argument doesn't make sense, go, okay, well, explain why it doesn't make sense. Explain why it doesn't make sense. You know, lay out your case. No, LOL. I don't need to LOL. I'm a genius, LOL. I'm losing my patience, man. I'm losing my patience with Candace, too. There's a point where you just go, okay, I feel bad for her. Her friend died. She's in a state. But it's getting to the point where it's just like, okay, Candace, now I know you're lying. Okay, there's one thing to not know, to be in recoil, have pressure around you. But I know you know when you're lying. I don't like little lies. I don't like little lies. I don't like little lies, Candace. But like, for example, when Candace was trying, she apparently got somebody on the phone, the guy that recorded the initial video of the guy on the rooftop from far away, from behind, the action. He said, is that guy on a roof? I watched that video. I saw that probably within an hour of the shooting. That guy had posted his video. It made the rounds, you know? And you see him zoom in from quite a far away. Like, I don't know what my iPhone is, but I think it's like a 16 times zoom. And he zooms in. Is that a guy? And it's all blurry. And he turned on the camera after the guy had laid down and taken his place, And then he turns off his camera. And apparently, according to his story and the timestamps, the shooting happened just seconds after. Because the guy was already aiming, It's just a shame that he didn't keep his camera rolling. But he obviously was like, I don't know. He's maybe thinking it was a sniper, maybe on the good guys team, who knows. But he's very far away from it. And then Candace uses his theory. He goes, it looked to me like he had tactical gear on and his gun didn't look as long as the one that they say. And I'm going, okay, that's great. You were very far away. I saw how far away you were. If you said it was just seconds later, I doubt you closed the distance. You were so far away, I'm looking out my window right now, and I would say that you were probably a block away. Now, let's see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a building a block away. Can I tell the exact description of somebody standing on the top of that building? A block away. Oh, it looked like he might have had tactical gear on. Okay. Like what, a backpack? What was the tactical gear? She didn't ask those questions. She didn't mention that he was far away. And that to me shows dishonesty. That shows dishonesty. That's not honest. If you omit key details that would explain the other point. That's called being fair. Being fair is to go, okay, well, let me think about this. If I were in that position, what would I see? Like, for example, Candace is like, our crack team. We're not wrong. I don't like little lies. We're a crack team. It's just like one of her first posts was when she read the word Orem, she said Orem. She didn't know what it meant. I'm still in Orem. She had no idea what it meant. Her crack team didn't bother to tell her, well, Orem is the name of the city. Orem. So if you miss that detail, and then her constant quoting of Mormons, this being wrong, the Beehive State being this, and, it's just like, okay, well, the thing is when you know the answer to somebody else's question and they present it as it doesn't work out well for them, because it's easier to know when somebody's lying if you know the other details, And the whole thing about people getting early theories wrong, early speculations wrong, they're obviously getting confused about what the feds say or the local authorities say and what other people speculated. It's just like people are still going on this thing where they're acting like the rifle was disassembled again and put back in the backpack after the roof. And it's just like, no, I don't know. Are you people just not paying any attention? Have you no curiosity? Or is your only desire to just dunk on somebody else and go, ha ha, LOL, idiot? You know, I don't know. I understand that temptation. I'm glad to say that I fight it and I don't engage with that kind of thing. If I don't know something, I say I don't know. The religion I started was based on 3 question marks. 3 question marks is part of my signature. It's part of my name. Asking questions is smart. Denying, not accepting answers just because you don't want to, because it doesn't fit your narrative, that's not skepticism. Simply rejecting evidence because somebody you don't like, if you've decided that I hate the feds, I hate the FBI, therefore anything they say I have to, LOL. And that's what Candace is doing now. It's my patience with her has worn out. She's just her smug attitude, and she does that thing with the end of her words. And like everything she says has to be couched in this kind of mocking tone, like, what? You expect me to believe that? And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just that attitude comes through. It's just like, I don't see the attitude of a person who actually wants to be fair and talk about something. I'm seeing the attitude of somebody who has their mind made up about something. That the Jews are bad, that Israel's bad, that FBI's bad, whatever, fine, great, I agree with all that shit. But it's not helpful when it's just like, I don't care what you say. It's exactly the same thing as these people taking Tylenol because Trump said, maybe don't take Tylenol if you don't want your kid to be autistic and you're pregnant. Well, I'm going to go drink a whole bottle of Tylenol. This is how people allegedly on my side are acting. They're so deranged that they can't simply just use their fucking senses. They can't decipher. It's not that they can't. It's that they won't. That's the part that's frustrating. If you won't agree, if you won't agree to meet and sit down and go, okay, is this an orange that I'm holding? I don't know. How am I supposed to know if it's an orange? No. Peel it, no, taste it. Okay. All right. You know what I mean? It's just like when you meet somebody that's that combative and that dismissive and that unwilling, it's like, what do you do with a person like that? Do you engage with them? Do you have time for them? Especially when they're laughing or mocking. It's like, I don't know if it's an orange. Okay, we'll pick it up and feel it. Can you smell it? I don't want to pick it up. I don't know what you do to it. I don't know where you got it. Is it FBI orange? Is it CIA orange? I don't know what you put in that thing. Probably might explode. Okay, got it. I posted this video of a guy breaking down a Mauser 30-06. Not a big deal. It's 2 screws. Okay, I've got old-fashioned guns in my house right now. They're old ball and lead. They're perfectly legal. They're not considered firearms anymore because you have to pack the ball and the powder in legally. Sitting right there. You can't see it because this isn't video. But those guns are so easy to take apart. 1 screw, you can take them apart. And these ones are just pistols. But the older the rifle, the easier they are to take apart. Because, hell, back in the old days, you would usually only get 1 shot. People don't even think these through. People that aren't familiar. I'm not saying every gun is totally easy to take apart, but by and large, part of the thing that you do when you're making a gun, and that people have to clean it because gunpowder is corrosive. If you don't clean your guns, you don't have guns for very long. So they make it pretty easy to clean your guns, and oil them up. My friend said. Oh, you did? Your friend said, okay. If you had a 30-06, his head would have been blown to smithereens. Okay, or what? Maybe. Yeah. Have you ever shot things with 30-06? You ever notice that sometimes there's no exit wound because of the strange shape? Anyway, but the bottom line is like, if you don't have the patience to be fair, and more than that, if you don't have the respect, if you can't treat me with respect, people with whom you disagree, if your option is to simply mock them and LOL and call them idiots. You idiot. You probably believe in 9/11. You probably believe in the moon landing. You probably believe in this or that. You probably believe jail. Just like, oh, okay. So we're not talking about this case anymore. We're talking about how the CIA and the FBI can't tell the truth no matter what. It's so frustrating. It's just like, I feel compelled to get on a team. I feel compelled to fight for Christians, and with those underlying common values. I feel compelled to do that. But then I find that some of these Christians, forgive thy enemy, love thy enemy, wonderful things, are LOLing, mocking, being exactly like the fucking leftists, using the same things. I'm like, oh, what can you do? What can you do? And I guess for me, it's just to do what I've been doing for the last 20 years, which is remaining completely independent, because, man, I'm just absolutely not impressed with some of how unfair some of these people are. And I get it. I can get into that territory too. It's very easy to knee jerk and just, when you're in almost fight or flight mode, when the world seems like it's crashing down. But is it that hard to just say, I don't know? I don't know. But this is what it seems like to me. That makes sense. Yeah. Oh, you said there was a shooter on the roof? Well, there is a guy running. Oh, his body did behave as if he was shot from the front. Yeah, that matches me. Oh, everybody did turn around that direction. Did they rehearse it? That's what I mean. Some of these people will say, oh, I don't know, it could be AI, maybe all those people. All those people. How many characters can we add to this story? How many people are crisis actors? That whole entire crowd? I see people that I respect, that are smart, that will repost a video of somebody's theory. And, I saw one that says, watch this guy. He's grabbing something. He puts it in his pocket and he gives it to the other guy and he runs off. What is he taking from Kirk and what is he moving? And I'm like going, okay, but you showed me a video where the guy tells me what I'm going to see. You know that's how magicians work, right? If you tell somebody they're going to see something, they will follow your narrative. That's what happens. The power of suggestion is very, very strong. But if you watch that same video and nobody's told you what to look for, it looks like a guy, some security guys bumping into each other, running to rush to Charlie's aid, realizing other people made it there first, and they're just trying to scramble around figuring, okay, what do I got to do? Where am I going to be the most helpful here? Oh, I bumped into my friend. Oh, but the bumping into your friend is now he's handing off the secret hard drive. He's handing off the piece of evidence, the detonator, the thing that detonated Charlie's neck from within. The team, all the team, every one of his people, his wife, his kids are in on it. Just crazy stories. His wife's in on it, all of his security team, baseball things. Oh, he touched his hat. Huh? Okay, yeah, I touch my hat when I'm out. That guy touched his sleeves. Yeah, they were tight, crawling up his muscles. Tim Pool touches his mic every 2 fucking seconds. Is he sending a signal? It's just, you can make anything up, but I'm just asking people. I go, okay, smart guy, tell me what happened. You seem to be so smart. You're easy at just mocking other people's evidence and their, I don't know, perception of reality. What's yours? I don't know. All I know is the FBI is lying. That's all you know? Okay, the FBI is lying. Okay, that's fantastic. Maybe you can step the fuck aside while the rest of us use our senses to try to figure out what is sensible and what is likely the most likely thing that happened. And we're using every piece. And if you want me to believe that Eric is in on it, all of his security is on it, the governor of Utah is in on it, the president of the university, she's in on it, all these people are in on it. Tyler Robinson's parents, they're in on it. The sheriff from Washington County, he's in on it. They're all part of this drug money operation, run by the Jews, and there's a plane, and there's this and that. It's like, okay, just tell me how many crisis actors, how many people are in on it? Where does it stop? The coroner's in on it, even though you can go look and see how long he's been in his job, probably. I don't know, I haven't done that, but I'm assuming that you could find a coroner, and they don't realize it. The Man of Steel story, okay, I get it. It's not the one you might want to hear. But if you're from Utah, and you're in that moment, is it hard to understand why a doctor would say something, to try to hearten up the friends and the family, instead of saying, well, actually, sometimes when a bullet's going on this trajectory, goes in his neck, it takes a little left turn, kind of like a rock skipping off the water. Things take. If you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos of people shooting ballistic gels, which is a consistent thickness. Not different. Like in your neck, you have muscles, you have fats, you have skin. Each one of them has its own density. So, but even when the density is solid or consistent, you get trajectories because of the speed, the angle of the bullet, how it hits, it turns up. You get these squirrely little weird lines, and sometimes they go up and out of the ballistic gel, and rather than explaining it that way, I was just like, well, it looks like the bullet entered. And by the way, I'm not making excuses for them. I do want to see the slug. But I don't have to see the slug because I know that they can produce whatever slug they want. They can give me whatever slug they want. If I demand, I need to see the slug, it's like, okay, here's one. We got a whole drawer full of slugs. You need one here? If I can't get in there and recreate the whole thing myself, Charlie's not alive, he's dead. But See, the point is I don't have to have all that. And I don't have to waste my time with you fucking doubters. I don't have to. We don't have to. They don't have to. That autopsy guy, it doesn't need to be your little bitch and get every single thing. What else can I get you, ma'am? Anything else you need, Candace? Now that you've appointed yourself in charge of everything, now you're the only person we need to, we can't please you anyway, Candace. Why should we do this when we know you're not here to be pleased? You don't ever back up with your pride and say, I was wrong about that. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't right about this. It's like each thing, oh yeah, well, why would that be then? Why would this, huh? Your smug fucking attitude. You're not coming with humility. You're not coming with in a spirit of fairness. You're coming in a spirit of bitterness and belittlement. And why should I have to deal with you belittling me? This is what is surprising to me about some of the people that are allegedly on my team. It's like, can you find your humanity? Can you? Can you find your humanity? That's all I'm asking. I'm asking the left to do that. Find your humanity. And when I mean that, I mean, can you find it within you to accept the fact that the governor is a human, that Elon Musk is a human, that Donald Trump is a human, that each FBI agents are human beings? They're not automatons, And despite me calling them Zoomer zombies, those kids are humans too. And when I say they're Zoomer zombies, it means they've been seriously fucking brainwashed by humans who have also likely been brainwashed, But I know one thing is we're not getting anywhere. We are not getting anywhere without starting to at least recognize the humanity in people. We're not getting anywhere if we just start treating this coroner, anybody that gives an interview. Like, Candace is like smearing children, as if they're rehearsed, She had political connections. The reason why is it's like, yeah, okay, that's because humans, they go, who should we get on the phone? I know somebody who was there. Okay, who is it? There's a number. They're on TV. Because that's how humans do things. I don't know. I'm just really frustrated with how things are going because I don't see any willingness on people on my team to simply be fair. That, I don't think that's too much to ask. Just be fair. And when you're being fair, you go, I don't know much about this thing. Maybe I won't comment on this thing. Or more than anything, can you just please use your eyes and ears and be patient? I don't know. I feel stupid saying that because I have gotten nowhere with any of these people. If somebody wants to believe that the world's flat, they're declaring that I reject all conventional wisdom. So there's really nowhere you can go with people like that because they're telling you to your face, you're a fool if you try to have a conversation with a lot of these people. Because for the most part, my experience is that they simply reject all conventional or tried and true. They reject gravity. They reject seemingly everything. Shadows. They don't, there's no real reason. They're not offering a different thing. In fact, most of them will come out and say, it's not my job to explain it. I just know that the people were lying. Oh, okay. Burn it all down. Burn it all down. I don't know what you do with those people, but I'll tell you one thing. I don't have patience for them. I don't care if I align with them on a bunch of things. I don't accept mockery and belittlement as a path forward, a path towards truth. So if you say you're looking for truth and you're employing those things, I'm going to call bullshit. I'm going to say you're a liar, and I'm going to say, get the fuck away from me. Lose my fucking number. Anyway. Infighting? Would you call this infighting? I don't know. I don't think I would call it infighting, because there is no infighting, because on my team, people are fair. If you're on my team, you're going to be fair. That's my team. I'm on team fairness. You know? And if I'm ever unfair, I expect my friends on team fairness to point it out. Say, Merkley, you're being unfair. You're not being fair. You know? And I'll go, thank you for calling me on that, because I think fairness is important. You know, I don't know. There's just, I don't want to go into it, because just this morning I woke up and just a barrage of comments from people that I thought were my friends. They're just so. I posted a helpful video of somebody, a guy, and it was an excerpt I made from his longer video where he goes through and says, okay, let's see. Can you put a rifle down your leg? He's testing all the things that they said. And he shows clearly, I have a rifle here. I did the same thing with mine. I put it down without taking it apart. I said, could I put this? And I go, okay, yeah, I can get that. I can get that. I'm a bit fatter than that kid. But yeah, I can tuck it under my leg, and I can actually walk just fine with the same kind of limp that he was walking with. I did it, and he did it. I thought, okay, I don't need to make a video because this guy did it, you know? And he has a whole video. He did a video of, like, is that a rifle coming off the roof? He wrapped it in a towel. He got his little tripod, went from the same distance with a similar camera. And you could see, oh yeah, okay. Why? Because he's fair. Because he's fair. That's why. He's fair. He said, can I break down this rifle? They said that he put it together. They say he put it together on the roof. Right? And so he does it. He takes the towel. He takes the knapsack. He gets everything, and he does what they say he does. And he's able to accomplish it. Because he's fair. You know? Anyway, that's enough of that. Thanks for listening. Unnecessary